Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Julianne or Julie and welcome. Today I'm going to be playing another one of my demo dives. This is a Night in Delirium. I think this is a visual novel detective thing. That's kind of the idea of it. Let me go to the store page. A series of murders puts a town in Chile on alert, and the police are unable to identify the perpetrator and his strange messages. Meanwhile, Nicholas, the young owner of a bar Delirio, suspects that the culprit is hiding amongst his frequent customers. So that's what this is about. I do not know how long this demo is. I'm always surprised when they are shorter than I think they are or longer. Um, Obviously, if you want to play this for yourself, this is a demo, so it's free, and the link for it will be down below. This is from Steam, of course. Um, yeah. Let's get started. Tutorial. Hello. Bar Delirio. When the twinkling lights and neon billboards flood the streets, it is time for Bar Delirio to open its doors and welcome its nightly customers. Drawn by the sweet liquor of the region, by the pleasant atmosphere of the bar, or by its friendly hosts, once you set foot inside Bar Delirio, you won't want to go to any other bar. Andres will be here in a few minutes. Andres will be open in a few minutes. Are you sure you want to include your new dish on the menu? Yes, please. I want to try a sample? Sure. I've been the first one to try it. Great! You'll love it. Access the pub from drop-down menu on the right tab of the screen. There you can create drink food recipes and serve customers of each chapter. Click on pub. Whoa. Tutorial. Here you can create recipes that the bar requires. Follows Andres and Nicholas' instructions to put together your creations. With this tab, you can switch between kitchen and bar sections. There are a limited number of creation slots. These slots can be used to interchangeably between the kitchen and the bar sections. To create a recipe, you must consider ingredients and preparation methods. You can select ingredients from this container, and the ingredients vary depending on selection you're in. To add ingredients to the recipe, you must first select it and then click on Add. Tutorial. In the preparation section, you see the ingredients that have been added to the recipe. The minimum is 3 and the maximum is 4. You can remove an ingredient by clicking on it. Attention! When preparing drinks, the first ingredient must be from the base liquor category. Okay. After selecting preparation method, click Prepare. When the recipe fails, it isn't added to the menu, nor do you lose any creation slots. You simply discard it to continue crafting. Oh, you can actually have fun with this. You can try again as many times as you like. That's cool. When the recipe is successful, you can save it to your menu. Saving a recipe only deducts 1 creation slot. Once you run out of creation slots, you can no longer make new recipes. If service selection is available, click the tray icon to serve the bar customers. Alright, I guess we could. Here's my new creation. Fried potatoes with special homemade style dressing. That sounds yummy. It looks incredible! You garnished it very well even though it looks like a simple dish. Oh, look at his face. I've been practicing. Uh, oh, interesting. Based on your interactions, affinity points are gained or lost for each other. Check how many affinity is earned by collecting the stats button on the drop down menu on the right. By getting affinity dates and encounters unlocked for each character, which increases your points. This is interesting. Uh, it's good, but no, it's really good. It's really good. I'll put it on the menu right now. Alright. Oh, hello. Marcelo. Hello, guys. Ricardo. Hello. Oh, okay. How's it going? Welcome. Would you like anything to drink? Just the usual. Me too. I can't do voices yet, and I don't know how many characters there's gonna be, so. Marcelo and Ricardo are regulars at the bar. I'd like to give them a special service today. A special, yeah. Marcelo, our local beer, and it'll go well with Andrew's new potato dish. Beer and potatoes. Ricardo always prefers drinking wine. Okay. I suggest a Swiss cheese and picado platter. On the pub. The pub. Deli platter. Yes. Wait. Not him, though. Right? He likes beer. Discard. He likes beer. Ah, maybe I should take notes. Maybe I should take notes. Because the other guy, he likes the beer. Malt con Heresilos? Traditional Chilean summer drink. Cold, sweetened peach juice, wheat berry, and dried peaches. That sounds pretty good. Okay, that is just beer. That's what he likes. We have Pescado Sour, Margarita, yum. Chilean Vanilla. Lemonade, non-alcoholic ice juice. I didn't remember what he wanted for food. I thought he would be, I don't know, close enough. Next, you want the wine. You want the wine, and you want the cheese platter. Yay! Alright. Here are your drinks and appetizers around the house. Thanks, Rico. Nico. That's weird. Did I get something wrong? Maybe. I don't know, it didn't look like it. The atmosphere is very lively. It's a pity have to close early. It is what it is. Today is the day that the fountain of Ag Agravivus, and I wouldn't want to miss the celebration held at Central Square. Yes, my niece wants us to see everything around. Good luck with that. Yes. Oh no. Oh no. Every year in uh how did I pronounce it? Aguvias? Gavavius, I don't know, something like that. A celebration is held to commemorate the day of the founding of the town. Squares and parks are decorated with peanuts and banners. There are musical performances, and ancient legends and traditions are remembered. Bears its name for a reason. Since ancient times, there have been stories about the encounters between humans and supernatural creatures who inhabited the river and lakes in the nearby region. The mysterious Sumbal, mermaids and tritons capable of changing their body shape, petroglyphics of which can still be found in the area. In there. Villagers like to celebrate by wearing costumes, playing traditional games, and enjoying the best of the local delicacies. And of course, we can't forget about the annual fireworks show on the shore of the lake. Oh, are you ready, Gabby? Oh, she's so cute. Yes, Uncle. I bought my grandma. I'll take tons of photos. Let's go. Alright. Map. Mapper. Wow. Check to see your location to see if there are any available events. In each chapter, you will have different research missions, in which you'll have a limited time to explore some of the locations. Okay. Current chapter and time. Events will be available within the limited time window, so it's important to pay attention to passage of time. Okay, that's cool. You can get a snapshot of a selection location and a brief description. By default, it will show your current location. By clicking on the available event buttons, you'll be able to see the event information, time restrictions, and event durations and meetings. Events can start and end restrictions. Start indicates, a start of the event. The event will not be available later. Additionally, upon entering the event, the current game will automatically advance to match the event's start time. You gotta be very aware of time, it seems like. This is probably gonna be a game where I have to take a lot of notes. This is just the demo, so I don't know how much we're gonna get into it, but there are events that have no time restrictions and will be available until research mission ends. Below you will find the general information about research missions for each chapter. This information is updated as you complete the events. Okie dokie then. Finally, in this information, can review symbology of the map buttons. So, current locations. So, current location, that is this red one right here. Blank events, Marcelo events, blank events, Andrew's events, are Ricardo's events. So we have two that we don't know about yet as like characters. Lakeshore. Marcelo's house. Central Square. The restaurant. Summer cafe. Cream shop. Library. Newsstand. Abandoned factories. National Park, Cemetery, Catholic Church, Wasteland, Apartment Benjamin, Apartment Lucindo, mining offices, so there's like a mining town, apartments, beach, bar, I think that's us, yeah, that's us. Police department, police station, bank, house, Veronica's house, so that might be another character. Ice cream shop. Kids park. That's cute. Ricardo's house. Okay. Disco. Tutina's school. Hospital, okay, so that's the hospital, kids park. Family house. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Craft fair. Alright, I think that was it on... Oh, I did not mean to screenshot, but that's okay. At least not yet. The evening was full of excitement. A lot of families and groups of friends came along the shore of the lake to wait for the fireworks show. Meanwhile, they are tempted by a delicious aroma of food in fresh juice stalls. Some stopped at the prominent craft fair where rows of booths displayed their goods amidst paper decorations and string of lights. We came just in time. I'm gonna take pictures of everything. Gabby, watch out. Ouch. Oh, sorry. Are you okay? The young stranger hardly paid attention to her. He only had eyes for the professional camera he held in his hands. He made sure that everything was working properly and looked down, noticing the girl looking up at him with concern. Then the expression softened and showed a friendly smile. Yeah, it's just a little scare. Nothing more. If anything happened to this camera, my friend would kill me. As the young man spoke, Nicholas watched with curiosity. He was tall, good-looking, but he was also dressed so stylishly that he looked like he was straight out of a fashion magazine or a movie. It was coming from a completely different world. Excuse me, you're not from around here, are you? No. It's just my luck around here. I'm not familiar with the town. My colleague at work told me about the festival, and I came to see what it was all about. Nicholas noticed the young man was also staring at him, and felt a little self-conscious. Aww. Maybe it was just his imagination, but it seemed to him that his attitude was nothing becoming friendlier. Friendlier or flirting? Suddenly the young man sighed, a sullen glance at him. Nicholas couldn't help but think he was really attractive. Would it be nice if someone invited me to rock the town? If possible. Someone handsome with a nice body. Oh my. Oh my. I don't know if he's talking for the sake of it or if he's talking about me. No, he's actually talking about you, Nicholas. He absolutely is. In front of Eunice of all things. Ah, it's starting. Aw, he left in such a hurry. Well, never mind. Oh, look at that. Very pretty. We grabbed the best spot, don't you think? I think so. Gabby? Why aren't you taking any photos? Sniffle. Gabby? Are you crying? I'm okay. The fireworks are so pretty, Uncle Nico. Yeah, Gabby. Remember when we all used to come to see them? Mom, Dad, Grandpa, Grandma. We would always come to see the fireworks. Do you think they're still watching them from heaven? Gabby. Give me a hug. I miss them a lot, Uncle Nico. Me too. At that moment, neither of the sound of the explosions nor the vibration flashes in the sky could move them more than that embrace. When they had to what they had lost could not be replaced, but they could still find that familiar warmth in each other. Are you feeling better, Gabby? Yes, Uncle. That was amazing. I didn't have high expectations, but you guys sure know about festivals. What are you doing next? Continued. We're gonna continue to walk around some more. Alright, have fun. Where could I go now? That's where we is. That was where, yes. Festival music flooded the main square of the town, attracting passers-by to the celebration. A modest stage was installed in the central gazebo where dance groups, musical bands, and comedians could be seen. The costume competition and traditional games were organized beyond. The joyful hustle and bustle of the attendees and the laughter of the children were audible everywhere. It's so colorful. It seems like they went an extra mile this year. It's so pretty. I've never seen the square this lively. Hello, Nico and Gabby. Good thing you came. Oh, hello, Andres. Want to try and put the crown on Palliato? I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. Yes, you haven't read the comic strips? Well, they're pretty old. Comic was created by a cartoonist from, like, in the 1960s. It was so popular that it got published in several countries and languages. Gabby, I think we have some of those comic strips at home. Ah, I think I've seen them. Was the youngest son of a family of some pals. Although his relatives were beautiful mermaids and tritons, he came out looking different, with a human body and a face of a fish. Oh, he had the opposite problem. Okay. In the comics, you can read all about his misfortunes since he easily fell in love and was always trying to win over a girl. Those comics entertained many generations and became a beloved character, especially here in town. That's why there are some pillow statues in General Square. Ah, I didn't know. Do you want to play? Yeah, sure. Here I go. Like many other children, Gabby tries to throw the crown-shaped ring at Simoleon's head. Throwing the ring wasn't as simple as it seemed, as the statue was larger than an adult, and its round face made it most of the rings bounce off before they could reach its upper flipper. But Gabby didn't give up, and after a few attempts, she finally succeeded, hooking a beautiful white crown on the Superior's head. Yes! That's great, Gabby. Well done. That was easy. What are you doing next? Going home. We had a great time, but we're going home now. Sure. See you. It's been a long time since we've been out. Did you have a good time? Yes, I had so much fun. Thanks, Uncle Nico. Oh. Yawn. I actually yawned. I'm sleepy too. Let's go to sleep. Good night, Uncle Nico. Good night, Gabby. And so, with the foundation day ended, the costumes were put away and the lights were turned off, and the whole town rested, wondering what new attractions they would create for the next year. End of tutorial. Save. I need to do that. I did. Yeah. Oh, Benjamin is his name. Okay. Marcelo. still there. Chapter 1. Nothing could change a horror witnessed by those walls. They were permitted by layers of dirt and mold. Like a living memory, an echo continued to vibrate through time. Nothing would erase those memories. Nothing would erase the pain. Perhaps he should have died then, fading away in the sunlight like a little angel. But something went terribly wrong in the end. Something was twisted forever. An unknown hunger took hold of his mind. The hunger of a monster. Right, sounds like we need to hire Scooby-Doo. It started getting dark early that day as the houses of town became ghostly silhouetted and tungsten lights colored the streets. A cold breeze flew the trees, but Nicholas hardly even noticed any of that. His mind was still clouded by the argument he had with Gabby earlier. He couldn't shake the uneasy feeling having to leave in a hurry without settling things with the girl, because it wasn't getting too late and he had to open the bar. Uncle, everyone's going on the trip. Don't be like this, she told him. But Nicholas was terrified of what could happen in a couple of nights without his supervision. No, he wouldn't change his mind, even if Gabby ended up hating him for it. As he walked quickly through the usual alleys, he suddenly heard footsteps following him. They kept some distance away, but as he followed his every turn, the narrow lanes and alleyways that led to the bar. Nicholas glimpsed the hooded shadow behind him. Because of the flickering of the dim lights, he could make out its true size. An unsettling feeling ran through him, giving him goosebumps. The steady sound of each footstep only increased his tension. He couldn't take it anymore. He needed to take a look. He needed to know. As he stared himself, a strange silhouette suddenly took a sudden detour. Nicholas stopped, staying alert. The footsteps moved quietly away until they were no longer audible. There was no one but him in the alley. He felt so silly. What is going on? Am I getting paranoid? He softly smacked his cheeks to compose himself. He didn't need to bring his own problems and worries to the bar. He needed to focus. He had to work after all. But Nicholas wasn't the only tormented by the events that drenched the nights of with blood. We need to increase the. Oh, a new victim of the Agruvius killer was recently found. Tara, new victim found a mile away to the mine. Found a way on the way to the mine. We need to increase the deployment of police officers. Murder appears again, so this is not the first time. There are many rumors circulating in the town about the way the body was found, despite the efforts of the authorities to share a few details as possible. As previous murders of this case, the body was found wearing a costume, also for some unknown sinister purpose. Some costumes stained with vomit and other fluids seem to be the center of the morbid theories. Fear lingered silently through the solitude of the night. But perhaps this wasn't the anguish in the expent solitude that many led of the town's inhabitants to drown their minds with the warmth left by the good drink of alcohol in the company of usual strangers. Nico! Have you seen the news? It's horrifying. They said the victim was a teacher. Hello, Marcelo. Are you okay? Andrews called me to get him a duplicate key, so I came to help him open the bar. Aw, seriously, thanks. I owe you one. As Marcelo gave him a friendly squeeze, Nicholas felt so relieved that it took him a while to let go without realizing it. Somehow, his big, warm hands always managed to comfort him. Perhaps he felt this way because he no longer had anyone older to turn to. No worries. If it's for your sake, it's worth it. Marcelo had always been like that, like an older brother. Nicholas was very grateful to have a friend like him to rely on, even in those moments when they both seemed to have lost all hope. The truth is that neither of them had a very easy life. A good friend. He took a deep breath and dispelled those dark memories and looked around him. The atmosphere in the bar seemed to be much the same as always. Perhaps a little less loud, perhaps a little emptier. At least the charm of the music that managed to cover up the obvious absence. You should think about how this whole murder situation might affect the bar. At least consider all possible scenarios. For now, it might not seem like a problem, but there's no telling how much it'll affect the business if women don't come in the bar anymore. True. You're right. Although he tried to be optimistic, he knew that Marcelo's warning was not unfounded. As he tried to think about this, he was interrupted by a loud thud from one of the tables at the entrance. He noticed that some voice was being raised. He didn't think a fight would break out, but it did, and it didn't look like it would end there. He recognized Mr. Jose, an older and regular at the bar. He used to have a reputation for telling dirty jokes. The other person involved, whom he had not seen before, was a tall, athletic young man. Judging by his appearance, he was clearly from the capital. Both seemed to be on the verge of throwing punches, while his coworker, Andres, tried to stop them to no avail. Ah, that kid is out of his depth. You should give him a hand. Certainly, Andres was too soft to deal with conflict. And if he didn't help, Andres would get hurt. I'll be right back. Please, stop. That rude punk made me spill my drink. I won't leave until he buys me another one. And throw him out after. You're the one who needs to get off their ass thrown out, you old fart. You old fart, you. Get out of here. It's not my fault you tripped over your own feet. You even spilled my beer on me. You want to pay for my blue phone? I don't know what you're talking about. You made me trip. And I'm no old fart. Why don't you just leave it at no one of you is were at fault? But it was his fault. No, it was his fault. Oh my god, they sound like children just with alcohol. Jennifer's body. ABDC, which I had seen earlier. I didn't make a comment on it, but I did see that. I didn't see Jennifer's body. I did see it, but I didn't notice what it said. Wolf, Doff, come drink. 6-6. Okay, I don't see any other things. This won't end well. Cough. Nicholas felt a shiver and looked next to him. The next table, Ricardo, a mysterious man who frequents the bar and always drinks alone, meets his eye for a moment. Apparently, he had witnessed the scenario in detail. The subtle movement, he pointed to the floor covered with beer to Nicholas. Nicholas looked at the floor intently. The blue phone had fallen amidst of the commotion, and a video of a beautiful naked woman was still playing on the screen. The video seemed more artistic than sexual, but it was also enough for Nicholas to get an idea of what had really happened. Now he knew how to face the situation. Jose, you're a huge pervert. So basically, he got too close to the video, the phone, because he's a perv, right? So he leaned too much into it, and he spilled. Mr. Jose, let me get you another beer. What? Really? Please, there's no need to keep this going. I'll get you another beer for the one that got spilled. Because you're a regular customer. I'll only ask you to calm down. The bar always has a friendly atmosphere. And we all like it that way. Andrews, could you get him another beer? Yes, sir. Well, okay. I'm sorry about this. Don't worry. And with that surprising docility, Mr. Jones immediately followed Andrews to the bar, where Marcelo made sure to keep him entertained with small talk. Now all that was left was to help the other party involved. Nicholas turned to the young man, who had already picked up his phone and was cleaning it with a blue cloth. Everything about him looked so sophisticated that Nicholas felt like a simple, graceless bumpkin. But the young man smiled at him, amused. What a jerk, right? The old fart wanted me to buy him another beer. No way. Sorry about your phone. I don't know how much it'll cost to fix it, but hey, don't worry about it. You had nothing to do with this mess. Relax, you got that old man off my back like a pro. That's enough. Okay. Is there anything else I can... Is there anything I can compensate you with? You could bring me something delicious. Surprise me, cutie. Oh. Oh, hello. There's no doubt about it. From the way the young man tilted his head and stole a glance at him, it was clear he was flirting. Well, yeah. And Nicholas's heart skipped a beat. Honestly, I would go for him. Uh, the way the young man could flirt so effortlessly with anyone surprised him. Nothing like he had ever had happened to him, not even with the girls of the town. Strangely, encouraged by the compliment, Nicholas returned to the bar to prepare a special drink for his new client. He started to make a refreshing drink, not too sweet, but something with intense flavor. A white tequila cocktail. Where is my pen? Where is my notepad? There it is. White tequila. Because of course. Okay. Nicholas was was sure it'd be to his liking. As he prepared to drink after drink, Nicholas felt a brief brush against his back, and he whispered softly, "Thank you. You saved me from Andrews." His partner still seemed to be feeling a little concerned, and Nicholas saw him carrying trays full of empty glasses to take care of the cleaning. Nicholas only hoped that the night would remain peaceful. The pub. Okie dokie. Today I would like to create a chili hot dog. Hot dog. The completo always have the Italian completo on the menu, but we create a variety we like. Let's get started. The dog sausage. Hot dog buns, yes. I don't know. Tomato, white onion, red onion, mushroom, avocado. Ooh, hot dogs and avocado. I don't know. Avocado is just not something I've really tried well. Zucchini and bell pepper. Seasoning we have chili, oregano, pepper, lemon juice. That probably wouldn't be too bad. Cilantro. Aromatic. Herb that can be eaten raw from the stem of its tender leaves. It's used to fresh sauces as flavoring, providing a citrus. Okay. So there is like notes that, what is this? Okay. Garlic. Um, I want to grill. I want to bake. Saucepan. I don't know. Excuse me. Failed recipe. No! I failed. How dare I? Okay, let's try this again. Because that would be like ketchup anyway. That's already citrus-ish with the tomato. Oh. Deep grilled. Boo. Oh, have an Italian. Damn, I'm not good at this. I'm horrible at this, apparently. Oh, it did tell me. Oh, maybe I had it backwards, like with the carbs. Today we are going to maybe make a taco using the shaken method, which consists of vigorous shaking ingredients together. Blah blah blah. I need this. So shaken, we have to do base liquor. So let's add that. White tequila, not that one. White tequila, that one. Yes. Simple syrup, tonic, secco, bitters, Coriaco, triple sec, vermouth, caparari. Let's see. I can talk. Shaker with our own hands is the idea when you want to combine ingredients of different necessities. Just sort of sugar, eggs, and creams. Modern sugar containing a fruit juice. Let's do this. Let's do. Oh, let's see. What do we want to do? Lemon, grapefruit. Grapefruit sounds amazing with it. Olives, cherries, raspberries, tomatoes. Ooh. Tomatoes and alcohol? Like, I don't know how I feel about that. I gotta be honest. The acid is what weirds me out about it. Because tomatoes are good. And I know a lot of people that have acid reflux, and then you add on the alcohol on top of that, and that sounds like not a fun time for heartburn. Honestly, raspberries sound really good. So I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do this one. See if they like it. Hey, citrus sweet tequila. Why not? Alright, so we had 2 slots. Right? Okie dokie. You can offer drinks with food to investors. Oh, right. With this tab, you can switch from the menu. Okay. Right. they also oh wait. Each customer has 2 bars indicate how much hunger and how much alcohol thirst they have. Ideally, you should serve a drink, and the meal covers the same score. Plus, the customers have favorite and dislike recipes, which you can discover. Once you've completed the service, you can use the summary of your affinity points. If your result is the highest, you'll have extra dialogue that will allow you to get to know the client a little better. Next. When you finish servicing the last customer of the round, you'll return to the story. I'm very curious what's new on the menu. What's new is this. But I don't know. Was it you that wanted the cocktail that I made? You say new. This is all new. Thank you. I'm more than full. I'm starving. I'd like a warm meal and something refreshing. I mean, there's fucking lemonade. That's pretty refreshing. And it doesn't have alcohol in it. Warm meal and warm main course. That seems like it'd be warm for you. Something refreshing. I mean, lemonade's pretty freaking refreshing to me. Refreshing. I guess margarita would also be refreshing. I don't drink very often. But, yeah. This is a little out of my element. I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I was expecting something a little different. Well, my throat is dry. Everything is fine. Dude, something is happening to you. You are looking paler than you did before. My throat is dry. Everything is fine. Is this a vampire story? Because he looks like he got thinned out and he says his throat is dry and everything is fine, but his alcohol thirst is up and he's also a little bit hungry, but I think this might be a vampire thing. I think that's what's killing people. Because he does not look good. He looks like he hasn't slept at all and he's super pale, so. Throat is dry. This is dry. Everything is fine. Are you even talking to me or are you talking to yourself? Because he drinks alone. I don't know. And he likes the wine usually. Right? He was the one that liked the wine. Don't know what he wants. I'm gonna serve this to him as well. Yeah, because I knew that's what he liked. Okay, I think I ended that round. Okay, okay. Ugh, I'm exhausted. I want my shift to be over. It was a little over an hour before closing, and although many customers had already left, there was still some left. Uh, Nicholas took the opportunity to take out the garbage and get some fresh air. Amidst the silence of the night, he noticed a man squatting a few feet away from the bar, talking softly to some creature. Although he couldn't see it well, as it was hidden behind the man's silhouette, he thought it was a cat. It was common for cats to go out at that time of the night to look through the garbage to find something to stuff their stomachs. On the other hand, the man was dressed in an elegant two-piece suit, which made him look a little like a successful executive. It was a bit odd that he could be interested in any stray cats. Suddenly, the man stood up, and Nicholas realized the silhouette next to him was much larger than one of a cat, and in fact was the size and shape of a girl. One he knew particularly well despite the hood that hid part of her face. When the girl saw him, she ran to him. Uncle Nico! Nicholas went to reach out for her, and as soon as Gabriella got close, he pulled her behind him protectively. Gabby, why are you here? Who is this man? I think there's been a misunderstanding. Gabby was crying insolubly, holding on to Nicholas. I'm sorry, Uncle. I got really sad and I followed you. Please don't get angry. I just wanted to see you. Gabby, I'm not angry. Now tell me what this man did to you. You're not? No, I'm just worried. The kid was lost. Well, actually, I was looking for a place too, and then I got turned around. I was showing her the map on my phone to see if either of us could find the way to the back of the main street. Yes, he was trying to help me, Uncle. I wanted to see you and make up. But why did you go out like that? Please don't ever do that again. I don't know what I would do if something happened to you. It's dangerous to be outside at this hour. Aww! Promise me you won't sneak out again. I promise. Gabby took refuge in his arms for a moment, and Nicholas understood the source of the anguish that had caused her to leave the house. Tragedy visited her too often or too early in life, and uncertainty of losing everything at all at once constantly lurked in the shadows. It was something both had to deal with. Uncle, do you still love me? Of course I do, Gabby. Why would you ask? I'll always love you. Me too, Uncle Nico. They had both calmed down. Nicholas apologized for the man for overreacting and got him a taxi so he could go to the place he was looking for. Nicholas felt bad for treating him like a bad guy, but he was quite sympathetic. He seemed to be a very mature man, despite looking even younger than Marcello, and for some reason that made him a little embarrassed. He was about to get in the taxi. The man, who seemed to notice his discomfort, politely said, "Thanks for the help, Nicholas. And don't worry, I fully understand you feeling suspicious at the beginning. Don't be shy about it. I'd react the same way. It must be tough taking care of a child on your own. It really is. And again, I'm sorry. Come to the bar whenever you want. Beer's on me. Beer, nothing else. Beer, only he only said beer was on him, and nothing else is on him. Let's just put that out there." They saw the vehicle drive away and up the street, probably in the direction of a townhouse complex built for the mine workers. Gabby promised she would behave and stayed in the staff dressing room to wait for the bar to close. An hour later, when the last customer left, Nicholas finished cleaning up and he went back to Gabby and found her asleep on the cushioned seat. He carefully carried the girl on his back and closed the bar with a feeling of genuine relief despite the emotions of the night. Well, that was adorable. Next day, the morning was disrupted thanks to a simple mistake. Uncle, we're late. Wake up. Huh? What? What about the alarm? Did I oversleep? It's 9 a.m. No way. That day, Nicholas had promised to pick up Veronica at the bus station. His childhood friend, whom he had a brief affair as a teenager, had taken a leave of absence from her medical studies in the capital to return temporarily. Bad timing. Nicholas couldn't help but feel worried about Veronica, yet anything would change her mind. He had already tried to convince her to not interrupt her studies, but the reason for her return was much more important. Her mother's health was declining. We have to go quickly. Are you ready, Gabby? Yes, I've got everything. I've even packed my backpack. Well done, Gabby. If it weren't for you, we would be in trouble. Alright. Go to the map. Where did we need to be? Veronica, right? Starting time. Duration 15 minutes. On their way to the central square, Nicholas and Gabby walked past the house Veronica and her mother used to live in some time ago. It looked empty and messy. They saw a stray dog nipping at the trash can in the corner. Some missing person notices could be seen. They had been hanging around the walls and light poles of town for some time. It seemed like someone took the notice from the area and threw them away. Some messages had "We're all lost" scribbled. Nicholas wondered who could have done that, but he had no time to give it a second thought. Where should I go now? Okay, it's not where we needed to go. I don't remember like a bus station or anything. What a newsstand. Close to the central square there was a well-known newsstand with magazines and newspapers. It displayed national and international news each and every morning. When they passed by the newsstand that morning, Nicholas and Gablis could see the striking front pages of the newspaper about the mystery of the murders in the town in a variety of magazines and advertised an exclusive interview with a famous medium who had clues to the case. Uncle Nico, what's a medium? It's someone with a spiritual ability. Mediums can read cards and make predictions. I don't particularly believe in those sorts of things. Let's just go. Where should I go now? I don't remember where I was supposed to go. Central Square. Okay, so we're almost there. We went the long way around, but it's fine. The cool morning breeze was filled with the aroma of coffee and freshly baked bread from the nearby cafes and bakeries. Some locals were enjoying the first hours of daylight, reading the newspaper, sitting on benches, and feeding the pigeons that flocked to the central square of the town. Only a couple of the passenger-bys were walking quietly towards the bank. It was not yet the busiest time of day. For that reason, Nicholas and Gabby ran across the square in a hurry. Several curious onlookers turned to see what was happening. At the bus stop, right in front of the main venue, was a young woman was waiting while reading a local newspaper. She was carrying a couple of large suitcases and a bag, which made it clear she wasn't here for vacation. Her honey-colored eyes went over with disturbing news about the killer in detail. But more than horror, she seemed to be trying to solve the mystery hidden among the few clues published in the newspaper. Only when she heard racing feet at the bus stop did she look surprised. Nico! Gabby! Easy, guys, what happened? Yay, we made it! What took you so long? I was about to take a taxi. Uncle Nico overslept. Gabby! I figured. Sorry, Vero? Yesterday was a bit rough. But I'll make it up to you with a delicious breakfast. So let's get to El Sup Cafe. What do you say? Sure, just like the good old days. Nicholas smiled and took both of Veronica's suitcases. He was so happy to see his friend again and that he was able to relax and forget about his worries for a moment. Although he had been a couple of years since they broke up, Veronica was still very important to him. Not because he still saw her as a romantic interest, but because she was someone he trusted completely and loved dearly, as if she were a part of his family. And he knew Veronica felt the same. The cafe was not that far. It only took them 5 minutes on foot. Gabby was holding Veronica's hand, and her little face showed happy she felt to see her again. She looked up to Veronica as the older sister. Gabby always thought she would like to be as smart as cool as Veronica when she grew up. After choosing a seat in the terrace and waiting for the waitress to bring their orders, they were able to have a more relaxed conversation. Vero, shouldn't have come back to town, I don't think. I didn't think you would come back to town. What a beautiful day. I feel like those two things aren't relaxed. A beautiful day, maybe, but that's. I don't know. I don't think you would have come back to town. You shouldn't have come back to town. I didn't think you would come back to town. The truth is, when you called, I thought you wanted to have your mother transferred to the hospital in the capital, so that she could be treated there while you were studied. That's what I originally planning to do, Nico. But it seemed like she got sick while She was in the middle of her biology research. Nothing is clear yet. She still had to go on her medical examinations, but she's confident that she'll get her diagnosis here. You know how stubborn she could be. I'm just worried that her disease will keep spreading with no cure in sight. I want her to be able to carry in any way she can, even if I'm not yet a graduate doctor. I'm sure you'll be a great support to her and the doctors, Vero. Thanks, Nico. I hope so too. You're amazing. I know you're gonna be a big help. I also help you in any way I can. Thanks, Gabby. You're such a good girl. Slowly, Veronica, god damn it, all these names, let out a tension that she had been holding in. She wanted to have a much more optimistic and confidence in her abilities, as Nicholas did. She was grateful to count on her best friend, someone she genuinely cared for, and he knew it was like losing fear in someone dear. Time flew by as they enjoyed their coffee and crunchy toast with avocado and ham. Meanwhile, Gabby had a yogurt bowl of cereal and fruit, and she told them about all the fun she had at school as she happily ate. Suddenly, Veronica's cell phone rang, and only then did they realize that it was already 11 a.m. Oh no, I told Andrews I'd come by my house by now. He was going to assemble some spare furniture he couldn't fix in his apartment. His apartment is so small. I guess he likes his independent? I'm going to call a taxi while they bring our bill. A phone call? Yes, because my job as a bartender, I know most of the drivers in town. That's fair. They've helped me many times with customers who'd fallen asleep or feel unwell at the bar. You're very kind to your customers, Nico. They must love you. It's not a big deal. The taxi didn't take long to arrive. At the hour, it was easy to find several of them driving around downtown. With no time to waste, they headed towards Veronica's house, which was only a couple blocks away from where Nicholas and Gabriella lived. The neighborhood had not changed in the last few years. It still kept a traditional 1960s look with the houses designed to accommodate a large family in a peaceful and cozy environment. However, the house where Veronica and her mother lived stood out from the others because of the beautiful view offered by the garden. It was displayed extensive rose bushes, ferns, and shrubs. Now, given the recent lack of care, the garden looked a bit dull, but some of its original beauty still remained. They followed Andrews, leaning towards a fence at the entrance. Next to him were a couple large boxes with furniture. Hi, guys. How was the ride back home, Verico? Verico. I'm sorry, Andrews. I made you get up early on the weekend. Haha, it's okay. At least it's been a productive day. Hey guys, if you don't mind, I can stay and help you with the furniture. Are you sure? You don't have to. No problem. That way you can finish sooner. Teamwork? This brings back the high school memories. Ha, that's right. Carefully, Andrews and Nicholas carried the heavy boxes into the house, while Veronica and Gabby removed any obstacles from their path. Oh, that's cute! Once they decided that they would assemble the desk, shelf, and they began to separate all sorts of wooden pieces. At the beginning, Gabby thought it was a very fun task and organized different screws, nuts, bolts, and tools that they would need in a small box. But as they followed the instructions in the manual step by step, the assembly process proved more tedious than expected. There were many different parts, and they didn't take Gabby to do much more than hand them a screw one by one. As Nicholas and Andrews and Veronica were so focused on assembling the furniture that it seemed like they didn't notice the hours passing. Bored and thinking about what she could help, Gabby came up with an idea. Uncle Nico, can I go buy ice cream? I won't be long. I think that there's a store nearby, right? Yes, there's a store right around the corner. Although they might not be on lunch break at this hour. You're right. If there are no one at the store, you come back, okay? Hi. Yes, Uncle. Nicholas took his wallet and gave Gabby some cash. That should be enough. I'll buy ice cream for everyone. I'll go make lunch. I'm starving. When Gabby laughed, grabbed her backpack, and happily went out, Veronica and Nicholas continued to assemble the last parts of the desk, which turned out to be quite spacious and comfortable. Veronica was delighted. She could set her laptop and all the books she bought. Nicholas wondered why Andrews thought that there was a larger piece of furniture would fit in his apartment. He didn't measure the space before buying anything. He thought he would have to give Andrews some survival tips so he wouldn't have too many problems in his new independent life. When they were finishing with the desk, the delicious aroma coming from the kitchen made their mouths water. Angie's followed several ingredients in the refrigerator and pantry of the house, although making some simple and quick, although always added some extra detail in the end. He couldn't help it. Cooking was his passion. Ladies and gents, lunch is served. If you'd like to join me, huh? Gabby isn't back yet? Nicholas and Veronica looked at each other worried. It had been at least 30 minutes since Gabby left the house. She should have been back by now. I'll go look for her. Let's all go. She shouldn't be too far. Uh-oh. The midday sun had left the streets of the neighborhood empty. One or two stray dogs wandered around in each of the cool places to rest in the shade. There were no one, not a single soul, not a single witness. There three of them searched every corner. Their eyes eagerly looked for any leads. There was not a shopping district, but it was more of a couple of local stores. They went to all of them, explained the whole situation, and left a contact number. While sometimes the three of them gathered, Gabby was nowhere to be found. Nicholas started to panic and thought that something had happened to Gabby was unbearable. But he tried to stay focused and act rationally. If she's not there, she must have gone somewhere else. Maybe she walked down the street to the park. Sometimes the ice cream truck drives by this area. Maybe she saw it and followed it. Maybe, but I didn't hear any trucks passing by. Let's go to the park anyway, hurry up. As they moved through the leafy trees of the park, Nicholas had vivid memories from his past. A brief flashback from his childhood of running desperately down the same path, looking for someone he never saw again. He tried to push the uneasy feeling away and concentrate, but it was very difficult to distinguish what was real and what had just awakened in his memories. He just knew that he needed to find Gabby soon, or he would go insane. Up ahead, where the grove ended, the playground was located. They saw a crowd full of children and teenagers surrounding the district ice cream truck, just as Veronica had suspected. For some time, the unmistakable music that usually played through the speakers wasn't being played. And while that was strange enough, most of the conspicuous of all the show displayed by the truck, attracting visitors of the park to its unique performance. There was someone dressed as a mascot costume of the popular character created by the famous comic book strip cartoonist in the 1960s. Nico, I think I see Gabby over there. Nico looked at the direction of Veronica was pointing. Gabby was right in the front row. She was so absorbed in the performance that even if Nicholas shouted her name, she wouldn't have heard it. He didn't know what to think about the mascot that the children adored so, following it everywhere. But something unsettling in Empty's eyes made him feel sick. Ah! Something about it seemed twisted. His body moved as if it was in a trance, making his way through the crowd of children. He didn't even notice who he was pushing aside. The closer he got, the more sinister the presence of this being seemed to him. The performance required some girls to approach to give them flowers made of balloons. But before the mascot had even had a chance, Nicholas slapped away the balloon bouquet aside and on impulse punched the man in the costume so hard he fell to the ground. Get your hands off her! There were surprised exclaims followed by a silence, and then confused whispers. The atmosphere was suddenly strange and cold. Nicholas, with his first fist still clenched, began to feel dizzy, without knowing why. Small hands grabbed the back of his jacket. When he turned around, he faced Gabby's scared eyes. He knew the last thing he wanted for her to see was him that way, as if he were a monster, as if she could no longer trust him. Uncle Nico? The man inside the soothed costume began to groan as he stood up. Hey, what's wrong with you? Can't you see I'm working? At the moment, Veronica and Rose managed to make their way through the crowd and saw Nicholas. I'm sorry, my friend isn't feeling very well. They tried to take him away from there, but Nicholas could barely react. He was so confused. Everything had changed so suddenly, and he was no longer sure what had driven him to do something so stupid. Nicholas, snap out of it. What's gotten into you? Nicholas, are you feeling okay? I, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry I punched you. Veronica and Andrew somehow managed to take him out of there. Well, that took a turn, didn't it, guys? The four of them walked back to Veronica's house. Although Nicholas knew that his friends were talking to him in hopes of comforting him, their voices seemed very far away. Okay, dissociation, that sounds good. Uh, it felt as if he needed to make a great effort to decipher what those sounds coming out of their mouths were. He only knew that Gabby was walking next to him, holding his arm. From time to time, she would give him worried glances, but she remained silent on the way home. When Nicholas and Gabby returned home, they laid down on the couch while Gabby was sitting at the table watching her cartoons and drawing. She seemed a little bit more lively. Gabby shared her watermelon gummies with him as she told him about what she wanted to do on vacation now that Veronica was going to stay in town. When the cartoons ended and Gabby was about to go to sleep, she surprised Nicholas with a sudden hug and a gentle stroke of his head, as if he were the child who had had a bad day. I'm sorry I scared you, Gabby. It won't happen again. Sweet dreams, Uncle Nico. Good night. Good night, Gabby. Nicholas, the music reminds me of the old soap opera, like daytime soap operas. The piano soap opera music. Nicholas was alone. He kept the TV on until it showed the end of the broadcast image. Then he got up from the sofa and went to the balcony. The fresh air made his mind feel clear and light. He sat on the balcony and closed his eyes for a moment, trying to remember all the details of that day. He had known something was wrong with him for quite some time. The whole situation with the serial killer only worsened the crisis inside him that made had been weighing him down since the tragic accident that killed almost his entire family. He had told himself that he didn't have time to get depressed or suffer from anguish. He had someone to take care of and a business to keep afloat, both of which required him to give his best, to put a happy face on, to be patient, to be understanding, to put his own problems aside. Today, however, something inside him had snapped when he saw the man in the costume, as if he had been looking for an excuse to vent up his all his pent-up anger. Yeah, that's why you shouldn't do that thing. Then he regained his senses. The image he saw of himself in Gabby's eyes frightened him deeply. He didn't want to become something terrifying. Holding back tears, and he sighed heavily in silence of the night. Nicholas didn't know what to do. He never wanted to be a burden to anyone, but he could no longer do this alone. He needed at least to have someone he trusted to talk to. He took out his cell phone and looked through his contacts. I mean, I feel like Veronica, because they do have the history, and he did say she was his best friend. Um, Andrews would be good too, would be a second choice. I don't know Marcelo that well. I think Veronica, just because He himself had said she was his best friend. So I'm gonna call Veronica. Yeah. It was very late. Considering what happened in the day, maybe Veronica understood why he was calling her at this hour. Suddenly he heard her voice, and had suppressed the urge to hang up the phone and burst into tears. Nico, what's up? Are you okay? Veronica's voice sounded raspy. He woke her up. I'm sorry I'm calling you so late, Vero, but I'm not okay. Of course, Nico. You don't have to apologize. I'm listening. His eyes filled with tears as he could no longer hold them back. Little by little, he vented all those feelings that oppressed his heart and kept him from feeling at peace. Veronica listened quietly, without judging or pressuring him. See, that's why I called her. That's why I called her. Um, he let Nicholas speak until he calmed down, and only then did she let him tell him that what she thought. You've been under too much stress, Nico. It's understandable that you can't handle everything. I think you've been living for others and not yourself all this time. That would end up hurting you in the long run. You haven't had time to rebuild your life, to think about what you wanted to accomplish in the next couple years. Nicholas nodded in silence. She was right. Perhaps he neglected himself for too long, even believed that he no longer needed any dreams or goals to achieve, other than to protect what he already had. That's why I think you should take time to go out and meet new people. Fall in love and live your life to the fullest. You know what I mean, right? Don't make me go into more details. What? Go out with someone. Have fun. It'll be good for you. I can help you take care of Gabby. I couldn't believe Veronica was actually suggesting something like that to him right at this moment. I don't think you understand. No, you don't get it. Nico, I think you're too lonely. I think I'm not saying you have to start dating everyone every weekend. Just at least consider the idea of having someone else in your life come into your life. I'm sure you haven't even thought about it. Girl, there's a serial killer on the loose. I don't have time to think about anything else. Nicholas, stop with the excuses. Excuses? If you wait for the right time, you might never do it. You've never been this lonely. You need someone to love you and take care of you. Of course, you can always count on us, your friends, but it's different. Promise me that you'll consider it at least. Nicholas didn't know what to say. Veronica's words were were very much a slap in the face. A surprise attack. He didn't expect that. And yet, much of what she told him was true. So true that just hearing it was enough to make him feel broken inside. And what really bothered him was not that Vera was right, but that he still felt like this was definitely not the right time. He took a deep breath to calm down and thought carefully before answering. I'll think about it. Vera, I'll think about it, but don't expect too much. Don't worry. Go at your own pace. Exactly! That's exactly what I would say if I was on the other side of things, if I was her. They said goodnight, and Nicholas hung up the call before hoping his friend could rest. He knew she cared him in her own way, that there was no point in beating around the bush. At least he no longer felt the anguish that bothered him all afternoon. Maybe he could also use the rest. Well, this is the end of chapter 1. I don't know how much longer there is, but this is already an hour and hour and 20 minutes. So, that is the end of this. Um, I'm very intrigued by this. I was a little confused with the dating, cooking, murder, detective, who did it, mystery of all this. I'm very intrigued by all of that. I haven't seen one do that yet. Um, I am gonna end it here. I'm not gonna go into yes. Um, so that was that. Obviously there's a whole thing, right? I did just click right out of it. It didn't even send me back to the main menu. That's fine. Um, but I actually really enjoyed that. It's not out yet. Um, but yeah, this was really interesting. I actually really like this a lot. But yeah, so it's in a lonely wasteland that leads to a mining site. someone dumps a body of a woman and a series of horrific clues with a cryptic message of her killer at night. Who is willing to hide such atrocities and why? Nicholas, the young owner of the bar, has decided to discover the murder to protect the life of the only family he has left, his little niece. But he wasn't alone. If he can trust the right person, he might find out more about than just the truth. Maybe he will end up discovering his true desires in delirium. Romance and thriller visual novel, English and Spanish. Crafting recipes, explore the town with map events, collect mysteries, and solve case. Choose between five unique characters' romantic routes. Multiple endings based on your choices. About the Oh, okay. So there is a second. Okay, so the demo ends at the end of the second chapter. If you want me to play the second chapter, I will. This will be a part two. It's fine. Um, Let me know down below if you'd like that or not. Or if, yeah, just let me know if you guys would like to see at least one more chapter of this game. I want to thank you all so much for watching and let me know down below so I can queue that up. And I will see you all in the next video.